Over the last fortnight, our students have been competing in various house competitions, particularly swimming, and it's been wonderful to see the level of participation as well as the support from staff and many parents on those house swimming days. For some of our students, they're not only part of a day house, they're also part of the boarding house and live at the school throughout the year. Victoria is one of 5 families living here on campus at the senior campus, and for you, Victoria, you've worked in a number of boarding schools. What's special about the boarding house here at Grammar?
It is lovely, as you said, to have 5 families here, so that's a unique and different thing that I haven't experienced before.
Our boarders come from across Tasmania, from some of the nearby islands and from overseas. Some of them come from King Island and Flinders Island, and recently I was with Olivia's family on King Island for the show and catching up with alumni. Olivia, why did you make a decision 3 years ago to come and board at Grammar?
I wasn't getting pushed enough academically, and with my horse riding at that point, it was just nice to come over and push that and see what it was like in a bigger field of competitors, and sporting opportunities like netball came up and swimming, and it was just really good to see so many different opportunities that I didn't have on King Island.
Fantastic. And over the last few years, what have you found to be the benefits of living here on campus and being here at Launceston Grammar?
Everything's so close, and with the boarding house pickups, they're very handy. I can still do things on the weekend that I was doing at home.
As Olivia said, netball and all sorts of different sporting opportunities to have assistants picking up and dropping off is fantastic. And also occasionally having boarders for a weekend or just for a night over the weekend, just to spend time out of a boarding house and be in a smaller family environment is a lovely way to be able to support.
And Olivia, is that something that you've done at some stage, gone out to some families over the weekend or for a night?
Yes, yeah, if I have horse competitions, I usually go out and stay with friends on the weekend, which makes it easy so the boarding house isn't always dropping me off.
Yeah, terrific. Well, look, really encourage all the families at Grammar to think not only of their own family, but the boarding families and what they can do to support our students who come from beyond Launceston and yet find a home here at Launceston Church Grammar School. Living on campus in the boarding community, not only 6 teachers, but also a group of committed tutors who support our students after school and over the weekend. Most of them are studying to be teachers themselves. TJ, who's with me now, is actually doing his PhD in exercise science at UTAS and is also our strength and conditioning coach. TJ, what are some of the things that you enjoy most about being part of the boarding community at Grammar?
I think for me personally, one, it's you get that community feeling, being surrounded by not only students and staff 24/7. It's you always get that feeling of there's someone to go and talk to, and I love seeing that in the boarders. I love seeing them interact with each other and love seeing them interact with us as staff members. And I think over the years I've been involved with boarding, not just here but back in New Zealand. You see them grow up, and you see them taking responsibility and ownership for what they need to do to develop. And I think for me, on a personal note, something that I don't think a lot of people would realise a need in life. In the boarding house here at Grammar, a bit of a luxury we have is milk on tap, and you don't realise you need milk on tap until you have milk on tap, and when you don't have that milk on the tap anymore, life's just not the same. So I really love that aspect of boarding.
So milk's on tap. It seems like after prep and on the weekend there's all sorts of activities that are also on tap. I love seeing you up here with the students.
Yes.
But what are some of the other activities that are on tap?
One of my personal favourites is I love taking the boarders on a game of table tennis. There's one student he's known as the boarding house champ, and I love taking him on, knowing that I'll probably get beaten quite easily by him. But it's always good to develop those skills. I love seeing the boarders take each other on and pool. Personally, again, bringing them up here in the gym to use this awesome facility. We've got the basketball courts down there, so I love seeing them play a bit of basketball, indoor cricket, indoor hockey, dodgeball. But then we also have the great facilities outside, and I guess with the equipment we have, you see balls kick a footy around, or sometimes take it to the next level and hit a golf ball. Again, we've got to make sure that we don't use the drivers on that day, because there's a lot of windows around, and I don't want to be known as the person who was on duty when a few windows were broken. But yeah, it's awesome to see the amount of activities that are available.
Well, thanks for the awesome work you do, not only with our day students, but our boarders as well.
Yeah,
At Launceston Grammar we have boarders as young as grade 5 and 6, and Max and Dougal are two of our new boarders this year.
The hard things are for leaving your parents for a long time, but the good thing is you can do anything you want at the afternoon.
Playing like games, playing basketball and like table tennis.
Yeah, it's always good to see you out there making the most of everything on the senior campus. For those of us in the grammar community who are not boarders, there's always an opportunity to be part of the boarding house, either by helping out or alternatively, if you need to at any stage, to look at options like day boarding or even a week or two in boarding if family are travelling. One way or another, we're really thankful that boarding since 1846 has been part of our identity as a school.